Throwing it back across the middle. This was our biggest fear coming into the offseason. We've been pretty poor in third and short situations this season. I have only 2 words to start today's episode. Bowl season. Our very first season in the Mountain West Conference, and the Winless U Otters are bowl bound. Last week we suffered a heartbreaking loss in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. A game we weren't supposed to be in. To be fair, a 9-3 record, 24th in the nation going into our bowl game. It is a dream season for our very first season in the Mountain West Conference. We're facing Jacksonville State today in the Isleta Bowl in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we're going to step in today, take over for our very first bowl game, see if we can get a huge win going into year 2. And we're going to set our sights on the transfer portal, try to round out our class heading into year 2, and then get a kickstart on our second year at Winless U. All right, we are back 9-4 after the loss in the conference championship game. Jacksonville State's 9-3. A matchup of ranked teams, 23rd and 24th in the nation. All right, we got to show some love to the Conference USA. If you were here for the Middle to Mountaintop series, you know how much love we have for Conference USA. Let's take a look at their roster before we head into this game. Clay Webb is their best player, a 92 overall up to a 93 overall, but it looks like he's injured. The senior left guard. Tight end Sean Brown up to an 87 overall, and then you see a pretty massive drop off. It looks like their quarterback is Zion Turner, redshirt sophomore, 81 overall. But it doesn't look like they have a lot of weapons. But who am I kidding? Neither do we. So it looks like it's going to be a fun matchup. A lot of speed on the outside. Let's look at their running back room. Not incredibly fast. A couple, looks like they have a platoon with a couple running backs here that are both 78 overall. Delaying just a little bit longer to go back over our class before we jump into the game. Bowl season's here. Transfer portal is right around the corner. We ended up with a really good class. A lot of players we really liked on our board. A lot of gems that we were really interested in. We landed 1 4-star in Harvey Knox, and we are on the precipice of a second with Luis Fine. I'm hoping that once the transfer portal opens up, we can end up finishing his recruitment and get him into the program. But a lot of these players that we're really excited about, like Enrique Everett, Tommy Pfeiffer, Eric Swoop, we ended up landing. So our class turned out really nice as we're finishing up year 1, and to close it out with a bowl game, nothing sweeter than that. Let's see if we can get a win. I'm going to step in, like I said. We're not going to watch from behind the scenes the entire time, but I don't want to do too much to step in and overtake it. So we're going to play just the moments. And we have a 1 overall advantage on Jacksonville State and a 4 overall on defense. They have a better offense than us, it looks like. So let's see if we can get a big win in our very first bowl game to close out the first season at Winless U. A beautiful sight. The fans are absolutely pumped. The Otters are pumped. We're in the home uniforms today. New Mexico is not ready for the storm we're bringing to town. Trombley, the tight end. Joe Bowers at quarterback. I'm looking to see if we can get especially the ground game going today. I feel like that's a player, again, in our running back room until we start building out the program that's going to be really important for us. All right, we're jumping in right away on offense. First drive of the game, and I think we're going to come out with a touch pass. I love a good touch pass, even if it's been nerfed. It's a fun way to start the game. Want to see if we can catch the defense sleeping a little bit, especially in motion. And just like that. I mean, again, it's 21 yards, but it's huge. It's huge. All right, we're going to run a DIY reverse here on 2nd and 5. I want to get Poe involved on the ground, but I also want to see about potentially... I have no idea what happened there. I don't know if I was supposed to pitch or what. All right, 3rd and 9, our first drive. We're at our own 47-yard line. I'm looking for the comeback route on the right side here. He's open. Can he make the catch? And he can't. It was a bad throw. I still think it's a catchable ball. We're going to be punting on our first drive. Not what we're looking for. He's going to field this at the 10. All right, they're going to start the drive at the 25. So not a successful first drive. Let's see where we end up coming back in at. All right, they're bringing me in on defense now. 3rd and 6. They're at our 44. This would be a big stop, force a punt. Reset everything. They're going to go with a run. 4th and inches. It's a huge stop. I honestly thought he was going to bounce across. We had that happen against Boise State. All right. They're bringing me in for a punt return. Obviously, we're going to house this.
2 seconds later.
Never mind. He kicked it out of bounds at the 25. We're also starting at the 25. All right, 3rd and 8. They're bringing us back in. 2 minutes left here in the half. It is a 0-0 ball game. Not a lot of offense either way. But English is going to be wide open up to the 10-yard line. And just like that, we're in the red zone. I think now is the perfect time to bring back the touch pass. See if English, once again, hot hand stays hot, can get to the edge. And he's going to... Oh! Tiptoeing down the sideline, and English, the hot hand stays hot. It's going to be a touchdown for the Otters. We're going to open the scoring just before halftime, leaving a good amount of time on the clock, unfortunately. But look at Rashad English. All right, 30 seconds left in the half. Running clock. They brought us back in on defense. They're in our red zone. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take over with Henry here. Cover the middle of the field. Force him out of bounds. 2nd and 2, 21 seconds left. Kendrick Jones here. I'm going to cover the middle of the field. They're going with the screen, and it's going nowhere. They're using another timeout. They have 2 timeouts left. Or that was their first timeout. They're using a timeout. That was their first timeout. 3rd and 4. 18 seconds left. And they're running a halfback screen. And we can't stop it. 1st and goal at the 5. 13 seconds left. They don't have to use a timeout. Again, this would be a massive stop if we can get it. Let's actually switch to wall stunt. I'm watching the halfback, and it's going to be a huge sack. Defense got home. 2nd and goal. I got to watch the middle of the field. He's going to throw that out of bounds. All right, 3rd and goal. 3 seconds left. They're just going to have to take the field goal. That's a huge stop for the defense. Very concerning when they got that 1st and goal at the 5. But we pushed them back, forced a field goal, and we're going to go into the half up 4. We're back in 1st and goal at the 8. A minute left in the 3rd quarter, and it's still a 7-3 ball game. This one's been an absolute defensive clinic. Can we punch this in? That's the question. Let's run a little bit of play action. I think you run a little wheel route here. See if we can get Poe out in space. Throwing it back across the middle. What a... It's a horrible throw. It's a horrible throw, but English is hot. I mean, that's 2 touchdowns for English. He's got both our touchdowns today. English coming across the middle of the field. The ball... I mean, look at where that ball is placed. Listen, it is an ugly throw. There are 3 defenders there. I should not be throwing this ball. Look at where English's hands are when he catches this ball. He looks like he's about to duck waddle.
And he waddled away, waddle, waddle.
All right, 4th quarter, they are going for it on 4th and 14. There's still 4 minutes left in this game. I'm not sure why they're pushing, and he's wide open up the middle. And he breaks it. What a pass breakup. I was pretty sure he had us on the seam there, and there was no way. I thought for sure he was gonna securely drop with that football. Jacksonville State scored and got the 2-point conversion, so we're only up 3 with 1:50 left. They have 2 timeouts. 2nd and 10. We're gonna need a massive 1st down. Stay in bounds. Another timeout. This game's over. We're gonna win our first bowl game. And it's not even Cameron Poe. It's Akeem Bell, the senior. 1 rush. That's his very first rush of the game. Comes in and picks up a huge 27-yard run to seal the game for us. And there's Cameron Poe. Outside is wide open every single time. If we can get enough speed on the edge, they just can't seem to stop us. And we're about to bust out victory formation. It's over. Unbelievable. The winless U Otters, 9-4, make that 10-4. Winners of the New Mexico Bowl. Jacksonville State heartbroken. Too little, too late to get their offense going. Our defense showed up. Joe Bowers gets to celebrate one more time with his teammates. 8 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Rashad English. An unbelievable performance. This is the pass that I think sealed the win right there. And the toe tap on the sideline. I mean, it's Michael Crabtree-esque. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. One last celebration with the home fans. The Otters are finishing 10-4 and 7-0 in the Mountain West Conference. It's a Cinderella season. It didn't end with a conference championship, but it ended with a bowl win in our very first season. I honestly expected a lot less out of this team, and they proved me wrong at every single turn, starting 1-3 and finishing 10-4. And there you have it, the New Mexico Bowl winner. The first year for Coach Brucey wins at Winless U, and it ends with a bowl. And there we have it. Didn't even have to get to the transfer portal window. Luis Fine has committed just before the transfer portal. That's 2 4-star recruits that want to come play at Winless U. He was a free safety that we just added to the board. He didn't have a lot on his board. He didn't have a lot of offers, and Kansas State snuck in. I thought they were just going to end up beating us for him, but Luis Fine, welcome to the Otters. This was our biggest fear coming into the offseason, was player transfers. And the one player here, there's 2 players here that I would like to stay at our program. We honestly don't want to lose most of these guys just to keep our roster stacked. But Keelan Rounds, the wide receiver, our #1 wide receiver, low chance of persuasion, brand exposure is what he wants. Let's see if we can get him to stay. He's decided to stay. That's huge. We have Rounds coming back for his senior season. Can we get Jalen Means? He's got a very low chance. The playing style doesn't suit him. Let's see if we can get him to come back. He's not coming back, unfortunately. 4 of the 6 players have decided to stay. We did get Montrose to stay. Means did not stay, and Grayson did not stay. So we lost our fullback, and we lost depth at right end, but we got Rounds back, and that was the most important player that had desire to leave. To get him to stay is absolutely massive. All right, transfer portal time. We're going to go back to our board. There are a few players that didn't end up committing that were super close. We're going to try to get a couple of those players over the hump that we still liked. And then we're going to take a look at some players in the portal that might want to come over from other programs to round out our class. All right, the transfer portal moves fast, but we did finalize Jermaine Crane in our class, a 3-star cornerback. So another cornerback to the room that's going to thin out here in a year or so. I'm excited about another pickup to add to that room. Another quarterback added to the room, Mike Stowles, the improviser. Another 3-star that we added for depth at the position, 87 throw power, 81 under pressure, 86 agility, 85 throw on the run. An improviser is the kind of build that we're looking for, but only 75 speed, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but we just need depth again at a lot of these positions and skill positions. Quarterback room does need an overhaul, but he is a JUCO junior coming in, so I'm not sure the ceiling that he's going to have, but it's depth at the position regardless. All right, the commits are coming in. Tyree Washington, another running back coming in the transfer portal. Kareem Beckham, a right end. Diego Barajas, a 3-star right tackle. Josh Grabowski, a right guard. Wide receiver Chase Penry. Chris Farrell, the right guard. Bill Jackson, a player I really liked in the portal. Another running back coming in. And Madison Werner, another running back as well. Emmanuel Bush, T-tackle. David Foku, a running back. I mean, a massive, massive class coming in the portal. And from the last recruits that we had on our board, our team prestige is up to 2.5 stars as well. So let's take a look at our final class as we go into year 2. Take off a few of these players that didn't end up deciding to come here. But our final class, 30 players coming in at a lot of positions of need. Let's take a look at where we ended up, especially in the Mountain West. I think we still had the top class. 30 recruits, 27 3-stars, 2 4-stars, 1 2-star, and a lot of exciting players, especially at positions that we needed. We finished with a 36th best class in the country in our first season. We had a better class than programs like Oklahoma State and Fresno State, who beat us in the conference title game. So that feels good. A lot to be excited about going into year 2. A lot to be excited about. Training results are in the offseason. Rounds is up to an 87 overall, so not a lot of improvement. We have a lot of seniors here at the top of our roster, so that's scary. The Deshaun Dobbins is up to an 82. Timothy Van up to an 82. Our punter is an 82. And then it starts to thin out pretty quickly. Kendrick Jones, who didn't end up transferring out, he's gone up from a 75 to an 82. That's a pretty big jump. Devin Montrose up to an 81 in his senior year. Bryant Harvey up to an 80 in his senior year. Let's take a look at the quarterback room. This does not include our new players coming in, but Joe Bowers going up to a 77 overall. Jacob Farrell at a 74, redshirt sophomore. Ross Bailey, and then Kenyon Garnett, 64. Probably going to encourage a couple of these guys to transfer. Cameron Poe is up to a 72 going into his sophomore season. Again, this position is going to need some work, but I still like Cameron Poe even at a 72 overall. Our program is up to an 81 overall, 80 on offense, 82 on defense. 2.5-star program, ranked 20th in the nation. So that's pretty insane. And then our wide receiver room, Rounds, English is up to a 79. Desmond Ivy is in a 78, and then it drops off massively with Joshua Cooks, J.C. Wysong, Brandon Worthington, and Micah Cypress. Marquise Springs is another blocking tight end. The redshirt freshman, though, is a 71 overall. Same rating as Blake Trombley, who's a senior. And then Patrick Parham and Dantes Delgado. Again, not a lot of depth at these positions yet. Let's take a look at our year 2 schedule. A tougher non-conference. Obviously, we're coming off a pretty successful year. Akron on the road. They're no slouch. 9-5, 7-1 in 2024 in conference. And then on the road at TCU, a home game against Liberty, who was a playoff team. And then at Colorado, Folsom Field, we're going to visit Dion before we jump into conference play with Air Force and then Fresno State with a bit of a sandwich in between. And then a gauntlet in conference to end it. New Mexico, Colorado State, Hawaii, Utah State, San Diego State, and San Jose State in the back half of our schedule. A lot at stake. I think the non-conference this year is going to be absolutely brutal. This sandwich right here of TCU, Liberty, Colorado could be really rough if this team loses 3 straight. Morale could take a big dip. All right, so setting up our board for year 2, and the offensive line is a definite need going into this season when it comes to recruiting. And we found a few gems in Zach Bliss and Viforia. We also have Cameron Melvin at right guard. These are a few positions we're definitely going to look to fill, as well as quarterback and running back, 2 positions we always want to be recruiting for, just to find that gem that's going to lead us to the college football playoff. But in the trenches is where we're going to win, especially when it comes to pass protection. In this game, you just get run over, and on Heisman difficulty, I expect to get run over often. So I'm looking at a few of these guys, especially as we start filling out our board, to start filling in those positions and start building a real monster in the trenches. We're definitely going to have to start testing ourselves and seeing just the push that we can get, even being in the Mountain West Conference, from our success in the previous season. Nathan Wade is a player I really like as well on our board, a cornerback, 93 speed, 90 acceleration, 89 change of direction, 88 agility, and he's got the jammer ability as well. We're going to make a push for him. He's got offers from Kansas, Iowa, Kansas State, and Tulsa, but we have moved to the top of his board, so I'm hoping that we can start to carry some of that momentum, especially with players like this. It's a 4-star. We landed 2 last year. I feel confident that we can bring home a few more recruits, especially at some really important positions like cornerback, where we just need position depth. We're going to lose players this year. As you saw, we have a lot of seniors and juniors on this roster. So the roster is going to get scary in a year or 2, even with our success. So Nathan Wade is another guy that I definitely want to try to land for this class. All right, before we jump into our first game of year 2, I want to take a look at our red shirts and throw a couple red shirts on a couple guys that may not get a lot of playing time in year 1, but we're really excited about. And that's definitely Enrique Everett and Jamie Trapasso. Trapasso was our first big signing, the one we were most excited about. Both of these freshmen, I want to throw a red shirt on, give him some time. 96 speed on Trapasso, by the way. That's absolutely bonkers. Give them some time, especially with depth at the position and them sitting behind a lot of players that may not be that much better than them currently, to see how they develop. And then I'm throwing 2 more red shirts down at running back as well. Tyree Haynes and Madison Werner. These are 2 freshmen that are probably not going to see any snaps this season, but they're 2 players that we're excited about from that first class. So I want to throw red shirts on them, see how they develop going into year 2, and make sure we maximize their time at Winless U. Our last red shirt is going to go to Tommy Pfeiffer, the freshman, 68 overall. He's going to be sitting behind Farrell and Bowers this season. I don't expect him to see the light of day. We're going to go ahead and redshirt him, and that'll be our 5 red shirts that I'm going to place on those players from our first class, and just see how they develop over the first season. I have a lot of hope for these guys, but obviously we're still bringing in at these positions regardless. We're trying to find the right build, the right fits for this program if we're going to take it from 0 to hero from winless to world beaters. We have to start somewhere. So these red shirts hopefully give us more time, see how these players develop as we head into future seasons in the Mountain West Conference. You can't only expect one game this episode. I know it's a bowl game. It was a bowl win. It's a huge way to finish year one. We got to start our non-conference. Year two, we have a lot more excitement on the field, a lot more excitement in the stands. 81 overall. We do have a 4 overall advantage on Akron, but we're playing on the road, and they had a really good season last year. They also went 7-1 in conference, so it's going to be a tough game. But we're going to jump in and play the moments, see how a lot of these new players that come in, Bill Jackson at running back, one of the transfers, how Rounds developed at wide receiver, and then it's Joe Bauer's senior season. So we're going to jump in and play the moments and just get a good start, hopefully, to year 2 at Winless U. All right, they're bringing us in 3rd and 6. First quarter, 3 minutes left. Akron's driving. And they're going to get a conversion. Ben Finley already with 49 yards through the air. I got to be better defensively there. We're still coming in on defense. All right, I'm going to take Cornelius over here on the hook curl route. Watch the middle of the field. It's 8 yards, but it's a good stop. I'm expecting a run here. I'm going to switch to a blitz. And that's what we like to see out of the defense. Push him back. 3rd and 3. We've been pretty poor in 3rd and short situations this season. Give me that pick, though, McPhee! I'm running this back. Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, that's why not. It's early, but it's a huge interception, a turnover on a team that was driving to start the game. That shifts the momentum back our direction. Let's see what Bowers and the offense can do. Cam McPhee, the junior. And it's just, I don't think that's not a good ball. They're once again in our red zone. Can we get another huge stop? Put some points on the board. It's gonna be a jet touch pass and go nowhere. 2nd and 11. Once again, taking Dobbins here in the middle. It's a run. Huge stop. Honestly, he had a bit of daylight there, so that's a good play from the defensive line. 3rd and 9. Need to get off the field here. Covering the middle of the field. And I'm just missing coverage. 1st and goal at the 3. Can we come up huge again on the defensive side of the ball and get a stop? I'm going to shoot that gap. That's huge. All right, 2nd and goal. I'm expecting a pass here. And that's a big sack. Jarek Francis, the big fella, gets home. 3rd and goal at the 10. Let's cover our tracks here. Can we get another huge stop? An interception would be incredible, but honestly, just getting off the field, only giving up 3 points would be huge, and I can't get there. But he broke it up. 4th and goal. All right. We'll take it. We'll take a field goal. Again, defense stands tall. Can the offense get some points on the board and change the momentum of this game? All right, our first time on offense, 1:17 left here in the first quarter. Bowers under center, 3-0 Akron. See if we can get anything going. Ivy in the middle of the field. He's got all day. 1:11. I'm not going to use our timeouts. We have 2 timeouts left. Let's change things up a little bit. I'm going to bring Browns across the middle. I think he's got the speed. But he breaks it up. I thought Rounds had that. We had momentum starting this drive. It has since stalled. 3rd and 10. And they're bringing everybody. That's a huge mistake. They're putting us back in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 5. Another chance to get off the field.
Where are you going?
And that's a dart. I don't know where the coverage is.
Well, ain't no way.
Unbelievably wide open. Myron Weatherspoon just torched our defense. And Finley just, I mean, moving to his left, just threw an absolute laser beam. Didn't even have to, but he threw an absolute laser beam regardless. 3rd and 4, 1:36 left. Here in the 3rd quarter, down 10. We're going to have to throw this quick to Poe. Poe coming up clutch for us once again. He may have been bumped down the depth chart, but he's performing. And they're not putting us back in on that offensive possession. First and goal for Akron. This has not been a great game for the Otters to start the season. First and goal at the 5. And he's got all day. Maurice Turner. 15 rushes, 65 yards. It's not a good stat line, but could punch it into the end zone here and put Akron up 17 here in the fourth quarter. It is not looking good for the Otters. Huge gap shoot. Don't test me, Maurice. Don't test me, Maurice. Third and goal at the 2. And a massive stop. This would be, it would keep it a 2-possession game. And he can't get home. He can't get home. Maurice. I'll give it to you, Maurice. I'll give it to you, Maurice. Fine. Fine. I think the Otters are toast, unfortunately. This is a game I was hoping to see us stay close in. We didn't see the field offensively a ton. And their defense was just unbelievable. And that's a pick. Rounds doesn't come back to the ball. It's not a great ball from Bowers either. It is an ugly day for the Otters to start year 2. We have a lot of momentum still. This non-conference is going to be difficult. I was hoping that we would come out less flat to start non-conference play before we run into an absolute buzzsaw down the line. But this Akron defense is just all over us. This is where we're talking about with the offensive line needing to be rebuilt. We have a lot of positions that we just need skill at. And this offensive line is getting beat on nearly every time we drop back to pass. And Rounds can't come down with it. We're going to go unconventional. We're going to run a screen on 3rd and 10 and see if Bill can get the first down. All right, it's a little bit of juice. It's 20-0. This game's over. Any sort of momentum going into week 2 would be massive. But it's not been a good day at the office for the Otters. They're going to be looking forward to getting out of Ohio as quick as possible. Jackson, once again, in space, has a lot of speed. The speed is key. We might as well try to take the top off the defense, right? See if Ivy can get open here at the top. And he can. And that's our first touchdown of the season. It's a garbage time touchdown. The defense is sleeping back there, but it's a touchdown nonetheless. We're going to probably get the last score of the game. They got the other ones, but we got the last one. And that matters to nobody except for us. Too little, too late for the Otters. A 20-7 defeat on the road. Akron. It was a close game in the first half. Only a 3-0 game at the half, but the second half got absolutely flattened. Weatherspoon had the huge touchdown catch, and then the ground game punched it in late to put it out of reach. We scored a garbage time touchdown with Ivy. A little bit of momentum going into week 2, but it's an unfortunate loss to start our non-conference. We're going to be 0-1, but listen, last year we started 1-3. We finished 10-4. So a loss hurts, but it doesn't kill. One last look at our board for the week. Raekwon Starr, Nathan Wade, our top 2 players on our board. Looking good with both of them, trying to beat out some bigger schools and bigger conferences. Valami Okung, the quarterback, on our board as well. Sean Ahmed, and then we talked about it. We have a lot of positions on the offensive line we're trying to get some depth at. Zach Bliss, Viforia, Cameron Melvin. We're still high on these guys' boards. We want to try to move up as much as possible, get into the top 5, and then start getting some visits in as our schedule unfolds. See if we can definitely fill out some depth of those positions, because we just got run over by Akron. We got absolutely run over by Akron. So next week, TCU, you're going to see the bulk of our non-conference, jump into our conference schedule. Year 2, there's a lot to like. TCU is going to be a tough one. This gauntlet that we talked about, this gauntlet in the non-conference is going to be a big test for us. I was hoping to come out with a win in week 1. We're not going to step in for these games, but you got TCU, Liberty, and then Colorado back to back to back. Both TCU and Colorado are on the road. Liberty coming to the Wind Dome, but 2 ranked opponents in the next 3 weeks. It's going to be a really tough next episode for us before we start getting into conference play. All right, that's going to do it for Winless to World Beaters, Episode 3. A bowl win, a successful transfer portal, and set up for success in year 2. But we ended it with a loss, unfortunately, in week 1 against Akron on the road. We have a tough non-conference upcoming, but there's a lot to be excited about at Winless U. Next week, we face some juggernauts in the non-conference. We're going to start to see what year 2 is going to shape up to be for the Winless U Otters. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support, and I will see you guys next time.